Hey everybody, Andrew Purdom here, and today I'm sitting down with Matt LaClear. Matt, he owns Your SEO Squad, and he's ranked over 10,000 websites on the first page of Google. He's a master at the craft of SEO, and he's going to share with us how he's able to do that and his unique approach that very few people are doing. He's also worked with President George W. Bush's political campaign and working with their follow-up techniques. So, Matt, what would you say SEO's role is in holistic marketing? How can building out a strong SEO campaign impact your overall approach to digital marketing?
Well, first, I want to say I wish I worked for the George W. Bush campaign. I tried to work for them. I did aggressive follow-up, and they sent a helicopter, but it wasn't to pick me up. True story. They buzzed my house with an Apache helicopter for aggressive follow-up, and we don't have time for that. But how does SEO fit with the scheme of things with digital marketing? I think SEO should be the linchpin of any marketing campaign, not just because I sell SEO, it's just because I've been a full-time internet marketer since 1996, and I've done everything under the sun. And I excel at SEO for a reason, is because I chose this discipline over email marketing. I started out email marketing. We had a server. We were sending out 1 million emails a day to real estate agents, and we're making really good money with it. But I ended up in SEO because it really is the cornerstone of a good campaign, because if you're doing outreach right, you're reaching out to people and talking about your business, and it forces you to get off your heels. And too many agencies and business owners try to market their business while their weight is back on their heels. And by doing outreach and reaching out to people, it gives you an excuse to meet people. And you might be just reaching out for a link, but what you're really doing is building relationships. So that's how I see it.
Right. And when you build those relationships, you find ways to work together and to move both of your organizations farther. I know you talk a lot about how you can do this with small businesses and online businesses, and it's just not limited to any one type of business. I know so many of us, I used to think that SEO and these tactics, it only involved me reaching out to get a link. But as you talk about, it's really business development, which is something that's going to help you move the ball further. So for you, how do you specifically approach search engine optimization and link building? Can you give us an insight into some of the practices that you use to rank websites?
Well, yeah. First of all, you have to fund the campaign, and to fund the campaign, you have to get new business. And too many SEO agencies, they treat SEO like it's going to be a 6-month campaign, and then maybe you'll make some money. But if you're smart with your outreach, you can make money quickly, and hopefully that'll bring enough funds in to handle the SEO campaign. And the first thing I do is I look at buyer audiences that I want that my customer targets, or if my agency targets, if it's for our own site. I try to reach out to buyer prospects as link prospects as much as possible, because if you're reaching out to a buyer prospects, a list of 1,000 vetted names, and they all have websites, if you're going to reach out for websites for links, why not have it be there? So that's like a combination of business development and SEO. So that's how I see it.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I think you call them in some of your material shepherds, places where people are led by an influencer. Can you tell us a bit about who shepherds are and how can you find them and start building those relationships?
Oh, shepherds I'll give you an example. The late great Link Moses. And since we're talking about shepherds, we'll go biblical with Link Moses reference. But Eric Ward, I found myself in a situation in 2016 where I needed to get new clients. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I was going to get them. So I went out and I said, you know what, I'm going to go find somebody. And at the time I was selling a link building course, and I knew I had to find somebody who had a lot of link builders and a lot of influence with those link builders. And I ended up saying, okay, that person is Link Moses. He had a paid newsletter of multi-thousand people were on that newsletter. I knew they were paid subscribers. I knew that if I won him over, I would win him his subscribers over too. Long story short, he was a shepherd. He had access to the people that I could get immediate sales with. If he gave me I'll give you an example. He mentioned my book in his newsletter like a month after we started doing outreach to him, and it shot it from number 52 in the SEO section all the way up to number 2 overnight. And it was on a weekend too, on the 4th of July weekend. And so everybody, he goes, if I would have did that last week, you would have went to number 1. So you're going to hate me for this forever. I said, no, I don't hate you. But what it turned out to be is a shepherd is somebody who has your avatar, your customer avatar, and has influence with those avatars in a mass amount of, and hopefully on their website or on a maybe they write books, maybe they have an Amazon following, but hopefully they have an email list, and those are what I call shepherds, because one good word from them and things change quick. That one link I got from Eric ended up being over 6 figures of income for our agency, and that number is still climbing because the agencies and the people he referred to us, many of them are still our clients. So it's like that one link led to a relationship with a shepherd, and that shepherd, though he died a couple of years ago, is still producing income for our family, and off that one link. And that's what I call shepherd marketing, and I called Eric a golden prospect. Going after a golden prospect is a type of person who, if you score a link from them, it's going to change your business. Not because your SEO rankings improve overnight, and they usually, my links from Eric never really helped my SEO, but man, it made a lot of money for us. And that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, it's true. I think when we think of excuse me, I apologize. When we think of search engine optimization, we start thinking like we would with paid ads. We just have to tweak this, and then we have to just adjust that, and then change this, and then we get X result. But it's more about relationship. It's more about how do you build up those relationships. And my next question for you is, let's say that I own a small business. I've not done any outreach before. How would I go about building these relationships? Do you have any suggestions for what a small business owner should do first?
Absolutely. And in fact, I can give the best bit of advice I know is find people who are helping others in a massive numbers. Like Link Moses, Eric Ward had those subscribers, and I could tell that he was falling behind in his tweets to them and replies to them. Find somebody who's helping, a shepherd, helping a massive amount of your customer avatar, then get in next to them and start helping them without asking if you can help. There's a number of different ways you could do that. You can look for broken links on their site. You could look for typos on their site. You could fix grammar on their site. If they don't have open graph images on their pages, you can create some for them. You could help them with tech SEO to make their site faster. There's just an infinite number of things you could do to help a shepherd. And when you help a shepherd, it's really a self-serving type of thing because they help you back. And when they do, it's just like there's no comparison. It's like Eric, all I did was maybe 80 hours worth of work for him, and he ended up giving me I think like 30 or 40 referrals in a 3-month period of time. And that was like, there was no correlation to what was more valuable, but he just had those to give. So he really liked the work we gave him and the effort we get to build a relationship with him, because he certainly paid us for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's fantastic advice. So I think for me, when I started going through your course, one of the things that I was really struggling with, and if I imagine I struggled with it, others probably do too, is how do you find these shepherds? How do you identify them? And then how do you know which ones you really want to go after? Because especially in our industry, there's so many people, and it can be hard to filter out who's a golden prospect to who is a fake gold prospect.
Yeah, who is bronze? Yeah.
Who's bronze?
There's a lot of people pretending to be bronze. So what I look at is that's one of the reasons why I don't like SEO tools that much, because it'll have everybody as a prospect to somebody if you have SEO tools. It's like, well, there's a blog over there. You might as well get a link from them. Well, the problem with that, if everybody is your prospect, nobody is your prospect. You
Mhm.
don't need a link audit to find the biggest people in any industry. You just don't. So what I would recommend is this person needs to be somebody that comes to top of mind immediately, and don't be afraid of how you're going to reach them. And I'll give you a tip on how to reach anybody. Is you have to enter their 150. We all have a Dunbar 150. It's a Dunbar law. We can only handle 150 relationships in our life before we have to get rid of some of the people and graft in new people. And that's just the way it works. And once we get into the 150 of a golden prospect, and if you can get access to that prospect, so what I would say is take the 10 biggest influencers in any industry, write their names down, then go find out if they're on social media and if they're replying back to social media responses and tweets. Find out if they're on LinkedIn groups. Find out if they're in some Facebook groups, even if it's a paid Facebook group that they put together and they're offering. If it gives you access to them and they're replying back, then I say that could be a golden prospect. And then what happens is you find 10, 15 of these people, and then you start responding to them and introducing yourself in a set way that doesn't get them to filter you out immediately. What happens is you might get a handful respond back, and I would say out of those 5 people, that was 3 people that respond back out of the original 50, those 3 are your golden prospects, because A, they can't be a competitor. B,
Mhm.
they have to have verified traffic on their site. All of your avatar, your customer avatar, needs to be there in large numbers, and those are easy to find. And you just got to find someone who isn't your competitor and who is accessible and actually responds back. Because if they don't respond back, you can't enter their 150. And if they do respond back, they're hit, because they can't keep you out of their 150. They can't. If you follow the rules of human decency and make a fool of yourself and actually help people around them, you help them at first, and then you keep helping and they just keep giving back and keep giving back. And all I'm doing is doing a little bit of help, but it helps in the right spot, and then they give you referrals, lots of them.
Awesome. So, Matt, do you have any other advice for people who are trying to get their websites ranked on Google or trying to build these kinds of relationships with shepherds that we've been talking about? Is there any other advice that you'd love to give to these kinds of people that'll help them take those next steps?
Yeah, I don't want to get people turned off from digital marketing, because you definitely need to test offers. There's so many people that are running SEO campaigns, and they hope in 6 months it's going to rank, but they haven't even tested their offer yet.
Yeah.
And that, we're talking about a waste of money, given what some SEO agencies cost, or if somebody's doing it in-house, how many hours you have to work on an offer you don't even know it's right. And it's sheer, I don't know, it's all, to me, I guess too much what is going to be a good offer and not. And a lot of time I'm wrong. And I've been doing this for a long time. And sometimes maybe 1 out of 5 I get right, and then I look like a genius, but no one looks at the 4 that failed. So I would say, start aiming for the fences. Find somebody that isn't your competitor and who has lots of referral traffic to give you. Create content specifically for that one referral. Like in my case, Eric Ward, I created an entire book on how great Eric Ward was, and how I was going to reach him to get a link and build referrals. So, and that started out as a blog post, but I created that because I knew Eric would link to it, because it's created for him. The whole singing his praises all through it. Why wouldn't he link to it? So find an influencer, create content for that influencer, and then start helping that influencer. But you don't go crazy with it and try to do too many at once, because this system is very hard to scale. You have to find maybe 10 influencers, then find some of them that are responsive and coming back at you, and then those are the people you put the effort on. And by that time, you're a couple people at a time, and if they're both shepherds, by the end of the month, you probably have referrals.
Awesome. Fantastic. So, Matt, last question for you here. For people who are watching and they're really enjoying what you're saying, how can they work with you? What are you currently offering to help people understand these principles and techniques more in depth?
Well, the probably the best way to get in touch with me and work with me and talk with is to talk with me at on my website at rainmakerbullets.com. They can grab a 30-minute free consultation, and I can talk like I have 73 different ways that they can double their sales in their business, and I'm more than happy to spend my time sharing what some of those ways are. SEO is one of those ways. It's one of the 73, Andrew. But think of if SEO is just one way of marketing a business, what are those other 72 ways? And that's what I'd like to talk about for anyone that wants to listen and talk about doubling their sales.
Awesome. So here's what we're going to do. Check down below this video right now. If you're interested in finding 73 ways to double your sales and get your free 30-minute consultation call, go ahead below this video. There's going to be a link to it where you'll be able to sign up and you'll be able to get on the schedule, because I can tell you guys, Matt knows what he's talking about. I've been through his courses. I've used some of his techniques, and they're responsible in part for helping me get to where I am today as a digital marketer. So if you want to find some of that success that you're looking for, or that growth that you're trying to get, sign up for that consultation right now, because that 30 minutes is going to give you the clarity that you need in order to take those next steps in your business. So Matt, I just wanted to thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me. You've given us a lot of really good information today, and I'm really excited to see everyone out there who's listening to this go forward and grow their business using some of these outreach strategies that you taught us.
Oh, it's my pleasure being here, Andrew. I love your other. I've been I'm a fan, and I watch because I'm always looking for nuggets. And Andrew, when you do an interview, you get the nuggets out. And so I was honored when you asked me to do this. I love spending time talking nuggets.
Awesome. Well, Matt, thank you so much. And for everyone watching, go down beneath the video, click the link, and sign up. And I will see you guys later. Take care.